good afternoon. My name is Kelly Williams. I'm the Senior Director of Sales with Thermo Fisher Scientific.
Hi, I'm David Alva, General Manager of Organomation.
Hi, I'm Stephen Brinkman, President and CEO of BrandTech Scientific.
Hi, I'm Bill Halsey. I'm with MettlerToledo, and I do the area business management role for MettlerToledo on the East Coast.
Looking forward to having a conversation with you gentlemen about how we all got started with our careers in the laboratory products. David, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get started in this industry?
All right, well, I did what you're not supposed to do. I went for my MBA immediately following undergraduate, and I had worked in software doing marketing for about 6 months. And honestly, I looked for a job much closer to home. I was tired of a long commute, and I saw an opening for a sales and marketing manager position, and I've been with the same company for over a decade now.
Awesome. You just went for it and ended up where you are. So that's congratulations. Stephen, what about yourself?
So I've got a very non-traditional sort of development in the industry. I ended up joining a family business ultimately after a short career in financial services actually. The family business had been started by my grandparents and was run by my dad, and he actually told me that I would never work in the business because he didn't want me to necessarily get involved. But after spending a few years on Wall Street, even though I've got a degree in political science, I ended up in a field sales position, which was a great way to start in this industry overall. It was a way to understand a little bit about what the products were that we were selling, who the customers were, and what some of the problems were. So really, really good way to start in the industry.
Yeah, so you were born into the industry, left for a couple of years and couldn't stay away, needed to come back.
So to speak, absolutely.
Great. Bill, what about yourself?
Well, I started, I was living in New York City at the time, and this is going 36 years ago, and which I can't believe still at this point. But I was looking for a new role. I have an industrial engineering degree, and I was interested in sales. I had started a position in sales for a couple of years selling chemicals, but I wanted something more, and I started looking in, back in the day, it was the New York Times. There was no internet back in those days, and I found this ad that said MettlerToledo. It was about a 1-inch ad, and I saw, hey, that company sounds interesting. I didn't know much about it. Interviewed and was very fortunate to get the role, and I've been here now 36 years in all different roles, from sales to marketing to management as well. So it's been a great ride.
Fantastic. So do you guys have any advice for those students like myself? I was an undergrad and then a grad student and had no idea what I wanted to do. So I just kept staying in school because I didn't really at 22 want to go out in the workforce. I stayed and got my master's, and then realized, okay, I really don't want to be in the laboratory long term. I got my master's in chemistry, but I knew I wanted to transition to the commercial side of science. What advice would you have for those students such as myself that say, okay, I love the fact that I got a science degree, I loved my time in the laboratory, but I kind of want to move into something different, but use my scientific background. What advice would you have for students that are thinking they may want to go to the commercial side of science?
For one, I would look at some of the societies you could join. As a manufacturer of equipment, I display products at a lot of shows, and one of those that's very popular in academia is the American Chemical Society and their fall and spring shows. So I love talking with current students who come up with their resumes, and I'm able to have a pretty good conversation with them about internships or other job opportunities we might have.
Anything to add? Any other ideas?
I mean, we certainly hire a whole lot of people who have degrees in the sciences, but then we also end up hiring people who don't have degrees in the sciences. And one of the areas that we find is a great launching point for us is to start people in customer service. So that gives them an opportunity to understand a little bit about who our customers are and learn a little bit about our products. And then those opportunities, some of those people go on into sales positions, either either inside sales or field sales positions, and other people take technical marketing roles, and we've really had all kinds of different opportunities that have come out of starting in the customer service area. It gives somebody a broad base to see different parts of our operation, different parts of the company.
Yeah, great launching pad for people to come in, learn the business, learn the products, and kind of see where they may want to go within the company.
Exactly.
We see the same as well. At MettlerToledo, we have a program called ECP, which is Early Career Program. And the program we bring people in, they start with Mettler can be anywhere from 12 to 18 months. And within those 12 to 18 months, they may do 1 to 3 month stints through different programs. It could be marketing, could be sales, could be telesales, could be tech support. And as you try different areas of the company, you find your interest. And we also have found a lot of good candidates through that process that have moved, and they've seen interest in sales. And we have telesales program, and they'll start with the telesales team, really like it, and then from that point move into outside sales. And it's almost creating a bench for us in the field, and it really works well for us. So that's another great way.
Yeah, that's a fantastic program.
Kelly, I'll ask you a question. You also were in the lab, right? At one point you were in the lab. Why did you decide to leave the lab and then come into more of the business side of our industry?
I was getting my master's. I realized I just didn't really want to be in the lab. I was appreciative for my thesis and the research opportunities I had, but I just knew I wanted to do something a little bit different. I found myself feeling very isolated. I tend to be an outgoing person. Mm-hmm. You guys all know me. I tend to talk a lot. And I found myself just kind of being I found the lab to be a little bit too isolating for me. So I was just really, really lucky. I did a lot of the things, like you mentioned, looking in the newspaper back then. It was, a lot of things weren't advertised on the internet. I was looking through the newspaper.
There was no internet.
To try to find, opportunities. And I talked to the Career Center at my school, and one of the local companies that manufactures autosampler vials had just posted a product management position. And the rest just kind of fell into place.
I think that's why I asked you that question as well, because I see a lot of the folks that come out of, they love science, but they may not necessarily like to be every day in the same lab doing the same thing. So a lot of the really successful people I see come in the industry are interested in expanding their knowledge base. So a lot of the sales reps that I've hired over the years, they're now seeing hundreds and hundreds of labs up and down the East Coast, seeing different applications, solving different workflows, doing different things, really adding, I think, a lot more interest to them. And they're also very successful at it because they have interest in the lab. They have interest seeing what the end users are doing on a regular basis. So I think that's a lot of what I see success coming in, if you don't want to be in the lab.
Right, and now my husband, he got his master's in chemistry as well, and he went into the lab and he was there for many, many years and loved it. So I think everybody has a little bit of a different career path, but you can't go wrong by getting a science degree. There are a lot of opportunities out there, whether you want to stay in the laboratory or you want to move into the commercial side of science or product management or quality. There are a lot of options for students out there.
The other thing I'll say is that there are also a lot of people in our industry who are just interested in the furtherance of science. There are people that are really proud to be selling a product that is involved with, trying to cure a disease or make the world a better or safer or cleaner place. Exactly. And that's so much about what our industry is all about. It's about changing people's lives. And a lot of people really do want to participate in that.
Agreed.
They want to be part of that picture.
That is my company's mission statement is, we make the world healthier, cleaner, safer, and we played a very significant role during the COVID vaccines, whether it was the PCR machines and doing the testing, whether it was producing the refrigerators and freezers that stored the vaccine, and it really was very impactful and meaningful for a lot of employees. We really felt like it was a purpose. We had a purpose to try to help with the pandemic, and I agree. A lot of my sales team, they feel extremely proud that they're out working with scientists that are trying to find cures and do research, and it's very meaningful.
It is.
So as we talk about making contacts, to give advice for some of the students that may be watching this video of how do I get and how do I touch base and make contacts with the industries within the Laboratory Product Association? Stephen is former chairman of our association. So Stephen, what are some of the ways that some of these students should be reaching out to the LPA? What are some ideas of how to utilize the LPA to help them with their career search?
I mean, the Laboratory Products Association has an extensive website that lists all of the member companies. And of course, people can go there and they can see what the companies are that are involved with the industry. And if something is nearby, possibly, you can obviously go to that company's website and take a look at what it is that they're actually doing. The website also has on it a jobs forum where, of course, you could go and look for a potential internship or even an entry-level position. And then, of course, many companies in our industry go to many exhibitions. And if there's an exhibition that happens to be in an area that you might be interested in, be it neuroscience or the American Chemical Society or cancer research, you may want to just attend the exhibition. You can probably get a student pass to go for a day and go see what different companies are doing in the industry and go talk to people who are actually working for those companies. That would be one way to start.
Sure, and if you participate at PitCon, the Laboratory Product Association always has a booth at PitCon, and we have meeting rooms, and a lot of our member companies are at PitCon, so that would be another option if you're in the area where PitCon is that year, or if you're able to go and experience that show. That is the one show that I know that the LPA itself also has its own booth.
The entire industry is such a family, and there are so many people who, even though they happen to work for a particular company today, they may be working for a competitor tomorrow, and the next day they're working for a distributor, and so on. And so people tend to stay in this industry for a long time because they do make great friendships here, and there are those great opportunities for them to pursue their careers.
That's great. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for the time this afternoon to talk about how to get a career started in laboratory products.
You're welcome.
Thank you.